So like when I told my mum that I was going to do Veganuary, she kind of gave me a funny look and went, "What do you mean you're not eating meat?"
Stop. Check where you're putting your feet, blood. You never know when you might step in a beat, blood. Stop. Check what you're cooking to eat, blood. You never know you might be cooking a beat, blood. Stop.
Hi, my name is Debbie Choi and I am a personal trainer. I started Veganuary to see if I could test myself and give up milk, cheese, dairy, honey and all those other things. I've always wanted to be open-minded and I don't want to judge vegans, and that you can't really judge someone until you've done it yourself.
Hi, I'm Ben Coomber, nutritionist, and I'm taking part in Veganuary to understand all about the vegan diet and what it takes to transition from an omnivorous diet to a vegan diet. But here we go, Veganuary week 1.
Good morning. I just thought I would show you my breakfast, which is all vegan.
We hear so much about vegetarian diets, vegan diets, and there are so many cookbooks out there and programs and celebrities going meatless. And yet, if you look around the globe, the consumption of meat is still growing.
Halving our meat and sugar consumption could help us live longer and save the planet, according to a group of 37 experts from 16 countries.
The suggested diet allows for an average of just 14 grams of red meat per day. That's apparently a beef burger around 90% smaller than a regular supermarket portion.
It's just impractical, and I have to really ask, why do we want to keep 11 million people alive longer than they naturally should live?
Where is the world going with meat production, dairy production? Where's the population growing to? Can we sustain that in the way that we should?
It takes so much energy to make the meat that is better if we ate things from more plant-based sources that don't use so much energy to make the meat, and we can't carry on as we are eating this much meat for the environment.
Meat does play a part in festivities, but it is absolutely possible to go on towards more plant-based eating and still get a full range of nutrients, as long as it's well designed and you think about where those nutrients that you're going to be lacking when you cut down on meat and dairy, where those nutrients are going to come from.
I woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning quite hungry and just kind of like thinking about food. I don't often think about food in that way, but I was like, God, like I am missing some stuff. But I can't, judge too quickly. I've changed my diet a fair bit. I no longer have any animal protein in it, no dairy, and that is a fair amount of change. My body's gonna have to get used to that. Moving into day 4 and 5, what I need to do now is get more creative in the kitchen. If there's one thing that you have to make sure you do on a vegan diet, it's get creative. Like the convenience aspect is really tough on a vegan diet. So I need to get better with protein sources because I'm really struggling now with satiation. I've woken up this morning, I've had quite a lot of protein, I've cooked a big Thai curry, and I'm just still not satisfied. It doesn't help that I'm a bit tired.
So I am here in a local cafe and they're really good. They are supporting Veganuary and have some really good vegan options for me to choose from. They also have vegan cake, which is really helpful too. So I am going to try the vegan scramble. It's okay. It's not the same as eggs though. Broccoli, essential. Courgettes, essential, lots of veggies. Mushrooms. I don't think the health aspect of being vegan is too hard. I think it's society the reason why we are drawn to meat, and nearly every meal contains meat in it.
I often compare meat to sugar because our ancestors evolved to love meat in a similar way they evolved to love everything that's sweet. Yet today, both those things are no longer as good for us as they were for our ancestors.
What do you think about not eating meat at all?
I don't think I can do that because I've been eating meat all through my life, and I do like meat. They're not quite tasteful. And
but
also,
how about do you think it's cruel, or do you think?
Because God made the animals and do say that we can eat meat.
cheese than eating meat.
No, and I think we do need the proteins from the meat.
I need to spend more time in the kitchen. It's as simple as that. I need to get more creative with protein sources. I'm farting an awful lot. I'm doing about 5 poos a day. It's ridiculous. I hope that settles down. I know that any dietary change leads to a change in how your bowels operate, whether it's less or whether it's more. I'm definitely farting a lot. So while those cows might be farting a lot, so am I.
We believe meat is very important for us socially and culturally because meat was always something that was connected to power and wealth and masculinity, and we still see it like this these days. Even though you don't have to be a brave hunter and particularly masculine to get meat these days in a Western supermarket.
Trump steaks are the world's greatest steaks, and I mean that in every sense of the word. Trump steaks are by far the best tasting, most flavorful beef you've ever had. Quality that belong in a very, very select category of restaurant and are certified Angus Beef Prime. There's nothing better than that.
Luckily, I've not experienced too many problems with eating out and being around friends. I think sometimes eating meat is maybe quite almost a masculine thing, and you might go out with a group of guys and they might be estranged when you order a bean burger rather than a meat burger. So there's probably an issue there with a few kind of guys, but I'm quite forthright in what I want to do. I'll stand up for my opinions and I'll just say I'm doing this because of this, and I think my friends respect that.
I am off to my friend's wedding today, and this is what I am wearing. So when I got the invite, I put myself down as vegetarian, so we'll just have to see what it's like doing Veganuary, being a wedding guest. So I was vegetarian for my wedding breakfast, and then in the evening I tried to make more vegan choices, and I didn't have the confidence to kind of say anything and say that I'm doing Veganuary.
So one of the key things that I've noticed over the last sort of week to 10 days is my gym performance. It kind of feels like it's gone down. I don't feel as strong. I don't feel like there's as much in the tank. If I would traditionally train for like an hour and a quarter, for example, which is quite common for me 3 times a week, then I'm kind of gassing out around the 45-50 minute mark. There's just not as much in the tank. That's all I can describe it as. It's not a carbohydrate issue, because I'm eating plenty of carbohydrates, as you could imagine, on a plant-based diet. So I'm not really sure.
It can be difficult to get enough calories on a purely plant-based diet, and I find that people who are quite athletic struggle to get enough calories to meet their needs.
I've been really ill the past couple of days, just like with sort of cold symptoms and sore throat. So I think I'm just a little bit run down. I'm not sure if it's because of the vegan diet. I don't want to say it is, but I might just have a bug because it's January. It's just got quite bad the past couple of days where I haven't been able to exercise because I've been so like achy and sore. And like I'm always tired, which is really weird.
So the sorts of nutrients that you find abundantly in meat and dairy-based diets that you may not find in a plant-based diet include calcium, iodine, iron, and vitamin B12, and even omega-3 fats, which you find in oily fish. So if you're not getting enough iron, you could feel tired and out of breath.
Morning. So I am walking off to CrossFit today. I really don't feel, still not 100% well. Yeah, but I haven't exercised in about 2 or 3 days because I was so achy. I just hope that I feel better soon, because I really don't like feeling like this. And I don't want to say it's because of the vegan diet, but I don't really know. Maybe I'm just not getting enough nutrition, or maybe I'm just not eating healthy enough.
One of the things that is definitely improved is my hunger. I don't really feel anymore like I'm missing something, like, oh my god, like where's the lump of meat on my plate. I don't have that anymore. And because I've varied my protein sources, I've tried lots of different things now, I'm enjoying the different protein sources that I'm having. I'm trying to do different things with tofu. It's still okay. The secret to tofu is definitely marinating it and spending some time. So one of the aims, or one of the things that I wanted to try and see or experience from, you know, going vegan, is whether there's any change in my health. And at this point in time, I've only seen negatives. I haven't had any positive changes in like my energy or God, like my libido, just anything. Like, I don't buy into any kind of, oh, this is healthier from what I was currently doing. For me, when a lot of people say, I went vegan or I went something and I felt really healthy, I felt really good, my question is always, what were you doing before? How were you eating? And for most people, they weren't eating that great.
So one thing that I've learned is that like veganuary isn't really a diet that you should be trying to do if you're looking for like a bit of a health kick. It's really not a diet for that, but it is a good diet to do if you are looking at trying to broaden your thoughts on animal welfare and the environment. After taking part in veganuary, I've decided that I probably won't carry on being vegan and probably go back to being more of a sort of a flexitarian, plant-based diet. Just because I've always eaten for health, and I'd rather eat occasionally like a organic, free-range piece of meat instead of some sort of processed soya bean patty, meat alternative thing, or like have eggs, like organic free-range eggs occasionally instead of like again some sort of vegan egg substitute tofu scramble thing. But apart from that, I've really actually enjoyed doing veganuary, and yeah, I've learned a lot from it.
It could be counterproductive to go to extremes of lots of meat-based foods or a completely vegan diet. Moving towards more plant-based eating still does your bit for the planet, and it's easier to get your full range of nutrients.
Doing veganuary has definitely made me think a lot broader about my food, all the different options that are available, getting different nutrients on board. It's also made me re-engage myself with the bigger picture of the world. What's happening with climate change? Is our meat industry and dairy industry impacting that? Is the way that we're eating right now sustainable 10, 15, 20 years time? Because I want to keep being healthy and happy and support the food industry for a long period of time. So it's re-engaged me with that, because I think we lose sight of that in our day-to-day of just eating, buying. We go into a supermarket and it could be quite a cold process because just all the food's there and we can eat whatever we want. We don't even have to engage with what's happening on the bigger picture. But now I really do think we do have to engage with the bigger picture of our food industry.